What keeps you awake at night?
Sea levels are rising globally.
Fears fueled by horror stories.
Among the worst flu season in a decade, and it hasn't peaked yet.
We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous.
Another series of deadly terror attacks.
Because you know that thing your brain does in the middle of the night? This crazy thing where it takes a small problem and it just makes it enormous?
Last night, Matt and I were watching the movie Bright with Will Smith, 2017 film. I would love to record this, record our review of this. 2 comments. One, I would like to... The whole premise is it's an alternate present-day universe where there's humans, orcs, elves, and fairies and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. It's an interesting concept for sure. My question is, there's one part where Will Smith insults an orc and tells him to take his ogre face and go back to Fiona.
Oh,
so,
boy.
In this alternate reality, Shrek still exists. And that's good to know.
Yeah, at least we have that constant. Wow.
Yeah,
also, that's
God is
racist,
God is
Will
alive.
Smith. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally an ogre. He's got fucking prosthetics and everything like that.
He's an orc. There's a difference. So...
Oh, shit. I'm so sorry. Did I just pull the same bad?
Harmful stereotype, Olivia.
Fuck. I'm so sorry. To every orc listening out there and every ogre, my bee.
The only thing I know about that movie is the god-awful makeup design.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I knew that it was time to turn it off. I had put my phone in the other room. I was unplugging for the night. So literally all of my energy was focused on watching this film. And about an hour and a half into this film, right? I just say, God, I wish I knew what the fuck was going on.
Uh-oh.
It's so intentionally vague to, I guess, build interest in the plot, but I had no fucking idea what was happening.
If by that time you just have zero clue, that's not vague, that's bad
Poor
storytelling, right?
Yeah, and it has 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm all for doing this as a review. Any movie where it's an alternate universe but Shrek still exists is worth a watch.
That's the best kind of universe.
I don't want to live in a universe where Shrek doesn't exist.
Neither do I.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hi, I'm Brooke. Hello.
And I'm in a closet. Are you in a closet?
Closets. Yeah, I'm in a closet.
We're rebranding this entire show. It's just, I'm Olivia, I'm Brooke, and we're in a closet. I'm in a very insulated, I'm in a blanket fort.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. The insulation in here is actually wild. With today's episode, we're supposed to be positive and talking about uplifting stories, and I texted Brooke and I said, I'm in the most insulated recording space I've ever been in, and she said, what's your setup? When I said blanket fort and I could hear my own pulse, she went, oh good, a constant reminder of our own fragile mortality.
You weren't supposed to say that.
So that's the energy we're bringing in.
Yeah. No, I swear to God, this is gonna be a positive fucking episode. I promise.
Yes.
I promise.
Fingers crossed, because we were just talking about how goddamn difficult it was to find uplifting news articles.
Yeah, the problem that I kept having is, so there's apparently an entire section of Apple News dedicated to good news, which, hey, that's kind of convenient. And I kept scrolling down these headlines, and all of them were just a little bit depressing. Maybe that's just a testament to my state of mind. Please don't psychoanalyze this. I already have. But, I don't know. When I see something that's a man does a DNA test to find his long-lost father, but instead discovers he had a daughter. And I'm like, that's not good news.
Or the ones it's like, the planet is dying, but we can still eliminate plastic bags. And you're like, huh?
Great. Perfect. I'm so glad.
So, news,
but I did find
please. God damn.
I found just some straight up good old fashioned good news.
I have some that are good and like just pure. That's great. Yay. Some that are mixed.
Oh, good.
And we'll unpack that because I think there's a little bit of humor in the fact that in the good news article, they'll be like, now some of the children did get leukemia. And you're like, huh? So,
now I'm afraid. I don't know what possible headline you could be referring to. Boy.
Who wants to go first?
It sounds like you have more things than I do, so you can go first.
Okay. Let's start with my favorite one. It is an article from CNN, and this organically popped up on my phone. I was thrilled to read this headline. I read it verbatim. Russian spy whale shines spotlight on military-grade animals.
Wow, they really just stuck a chimpanzee in a room and had it type letters, huh? Wow.
The whole article is about a set of fishermen in Norway that found this whale that had like a harness on it. Whoa. And the harness had areas for like GoPros and tracking devices. And I guess... And I didn't even know this was a thing. Apparently, this was declassified in the 90s. I guess since the Cold War, the U.S. government and Russia have been using animals for covert military operations.
Oh my god. It's not good.
Now, you might be thinking... how the fuck did they do that? Well, apparently they've been training, the U.S. government at the very least, has been training bottlenose dolphins and sea lions and seals to find, like, inactive torpedoes and military technology. Oh, and their efforts have saved literally millions of dollars recovering these lost torpedoes. And yeah, they're doing great fucking work. This was honestly very uplifting.
Yeah, that's awesome. What the hell?
They guard naval bases, help divers find lost equipment. I guess the Russians like do the same kind of thing. I don't know. This is wild to me.
Yeah. I'm straight
the
up
sea
impressed.
lions used to detect sea mines and swimmers and discover inert torpedoes. That's what I said. But the fact that we're like, God, I wish there was a way that we could search the ocean floor for lost military equipment. And then one dude is on like a whale watching trip with his family. And he's like, we could fucking use this.
The whales!
So I guess there's like trained marine animals across the globe that are, I would like to believe, military agents. Like, I believe they're registered with the CIA. They have their own little card and they have harnesses. They're doing
guns.
Great work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm very happy for them. So that was just kind of funny because I don't know.
Olivia, if whales can be government employees, then fuck, whales should vote.
Yes.
Whale
my
suffrage.
God. Yes. I'm all for this. If they're card carrying members of the U.S. government, they need to be able to have a say in our elections. This all is just very reminiscent of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Is it just too real? Just too real. All right. Oof. I guess deep breath.
Let's just sit in this moment where whales are agents, and my first thing is not a news story at all, except it totally is. How many of you, Olivia, have heard of Lizzo? Well, do I have a thing for you? Lizzo she's a singer, she's a recording artist, and she's been around for kind of a while. I didn't know about her until very, very recently, but she just released an album called 'Cause I Love You, and it saved my soul. And this is my entire first thing, is just gonna be me ranting about this album. I can't say enough good things. If you want to start somewhere, look up the song Juice, which I think is like her big hit right now. It's like getting radio plays and shit. But her whole thing is like body positivity, set to a groovy 80s R&B track.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
I couldn't be more for it. It's amazing. And like, I said this the first time I heard Juice, I was like, if Bruno Mars had recorded this, it would be a mega hit. And that's the only reason why it isn't. It is such a good song. It's just that nobody was listening to her when it came out. And she's had like general success for like the last, I don't know, 5 years or so. But now it's like Juice is a mega hit all of a sudden because she got on some talk shows and the album actually came out and it's a banger from start to finish. And it's not often that I hear an album where I like every song. This is that album. Yeah.
Damn.
It's so goddamn good. It's just some feel-good music with some, like, good soulful stuff mixed in. Oh, man. I have nothing else to say about it except that I love it so much. Ugh. Oh, man.
Good music recommendation, Brooke.
Hell yeah. And you were talking about how, like, your hype-up song is, Seven Rings by Ariana Grande.
Fuck yes, it is.
Yeah, you should listen to this album.
Okay, because I love my hype-up music. I think the one that's been on loop for a little bit is Sucker by the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, man, it's so good.
God, the sexual energy in that single is so wonderful.
What
if
a
y'all
good
haven't
music
listened
video.
to it. Oh, it's such a good... Oh, their wives
so
are
good.
so goddamn beautiful.
They are. Do you know how long it took me to figure out that one of them is Sophie Turner?
Yeah, because she looks so different. Apparently, too, there was an article I saw, I think it's Nick Jonas had the multi-million-dollar wedding. His wife is, I believe, Indian, so he wanted to do a traditional, like, style wedding for her and her family, and spent a lot of money. He rented out a palace. If I got that wrong, sorry.
Yeah, it was like $200 million he spent on that.
Right? Versus... Joe Jonas eloped with Sophie and had a flash Vegas wedding.
It was amazing.
Just two very different energies.
They exchanged ring pops.
I know, it was so cute.
Loves
Anyway,
of my
that's a
life.
positive story for
Hell
sure.
yeah. Just sneak one in there. Yeah, it was beautiful. So Lizzo is amazing. I couldn't
Good
say...
recommendation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the only music I've been listening to is kind of compounding on depression, so I'm not going to recommend it.
We'll get into it.
My next story, this is a health and science story, and I was very excited to see this. I actually almost went into, I guess, bioengineering, biotech. I was very interested in gene therapy and everything like that. I've switched gears a little bit, less into bio, more into chem and physics. I mean, I'm a biophysics major, part and parcel of that.
Yeah.
But I read a really great article, and I was very excited to read it. So, have you ever heard of, like, do you remember the, what's his name? Well, there was a John Travolta movie about him living in a bubble. Do you remember that?
I'm gonna say Bubble Boy, but that's...
Oh, that's the Jake Gyllenhaal one that got
Oh, darn.
cut. But yeah, it's a similar effect of like somebody with an autoimmune disease, they live inside of a bubble. Right. That is a real disease called severe combined immunodeficiency disease, SCID.
Jesus.
And they had been trying to treat this for a very long time. This was the article where they open with saying like, "Oh, we found a cure for the bubble boy disease." Second paragraph, 2003, after researchers realized the therapy was giving the children cancer. I'm like, hey, what the fuck? But this was an article by the Washington Post. It's titled "Gene Therapy Cures Infants Suffering from Bubble Boy Immune Disease." So essentially it's very, very sensitive immune systems. They have almost no immunity, and any intruder could kill them. It's pretty rare. I think the statistic they list at the end is like 1 in 50,000 children have it. That's the newest one, the newest stat on it.
Yeah. Is it genetic? Do we know what causes it?
It is genetic. I think the idea is you don't have the ability to produce the immune cells that it's essentially born without a functioning immune system, without getting too complicated into the science. So a lot of them rarely survive past their first birthday. Yeah. That's why they're kept in these bubbles, because they just can't handle it. There's been a couple, like there was a very famous case in the 70s about a bubble boy. I think that's what, made it such a popular phenomena. I think that's why it was a movie with John Travolta in the 1970s. There was a kid who had it. And they would essentially do blood transfusions or bone marrow transplants. But the effect is they'd be kind of dependent upon it. And I guess because they don't have functioning immune systems, if their body began producing immune cells, their body could start killing them.
Oh.
So it was definitely difficult to figure out a way to cure this.
Yeah.
But what they used, and this is something that's so interesting, I think I mentioned briefly that I almost worked in a virology lab at UCLA. They used modified viruses to infect the kids, and the viruses delivered a correct copy of the defective gene that they had to produce immune cells. So when they infected them with that specific segment of DNA, it inserted itself into their DNA, and kaboom, now they have functioning, fully productive immune cells.
Holy shit!
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
And reading, and this is for me, the mechanisms were very interesting. They take kids that you recently born, it's going to be much easier if they're younger. They do a brief chemotherapy treatment to kill off some of their naturally occurring bone cells, and then insert the correct cells, and then those cells grow in their body, and then they don't have that problem anymore.
Goddamn.
Made my heart extra pure. I guess the researcher, he had Hodgkin's lymphoma or something like that. So he spent the final year of his life working full-time heart and soul into finding a cure for this. It's just so pure. It fills my heart. Obviously, they're going to be monitoring the kids, and
yeah. It must be so difficult to diagnose that. Because, from the parents' perspective, they just keep getting sick.
I guess, yeah. I don't know what the diagnosis process is. I guess it varies. I wonder if there's screenings that they do. It's so rare, I don't know if they would, but...
Yeah, it seems like a lot of money to spend on something that occurs so rarely, but maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, well, actually, that's also what made me really happy, is because at least in the pharmaceutical field, we have what they call, orphan drugs, which is actually a lot less related to orphans than the name might suggest. Essentially, there's only so much money to go around for research as it is. Research is pretty limited.
Right.
And essentially, just from a marketing and financial standpoint, it's very difficult to get drugs funded that are for very niche populations of people.
Yeah.
So something like this, getting this funded, I'm sure was incredibly difficult considering how rare it was.
Yeah,
and the fact that it succeeded, that made me really happy, because this is not very common for this to happen. And the whole thing was just such good. Such good.
Warms my heart.
Deep breath. Relaxing breath. So
are we gonna put meditation music behind this?
I was planning on putting the meditative gong between our segment, the hong.
Nice.
So
nice.
I'm excited. All right, your turn.
So my next thing, I'm a fan of animals. I like them as much as the next guy, and I like pretty animals too. This isn't the best way to introduce this. So have you ever heard of the trumpeter swan?
No.
Okay, so the trumpeter swan, it just looks like a swan, but where, you know how regular swans' beaks are, orange?
Okay.
Their faces are, orange and black. Trumpeter swans are entirely black. Just all the way down. They look cool as shit, but, apparently they were super common in, the 1700s. And this story is in Ontario, but they're also in America. So they were so common that people who were first settling there were you could mistake them for daisies. So that's that on that. But they were actually hunted to almost extinction by 1880 because people wanted them for food. They wanted their feathers for powder puffs and to make quill pens. So they killed them all. And the last one, the last known trumpeter swan had been shot in 1880 in Ontario, so they thought that they were just gone. However, this 95-year-old man who works in Ontario. He's retired, but he still works with these swans. He's been working for decades to rehabilitate the population. At first, it was super difficult because there were only like a handful of eggs left at all. So they had to find a surrogate bird to raise these eggs. And then the fact that the population that was so small already was so inbred, less than half of the eggs were hatching. So then, eventually, they got another stock of eggs from, I believe, Alaska, but don't quote me on that.
Fair enough.
And then, all of a sudden, over 3/4 of the eggs were hatching. And since 2003, the numbers have been growing every year. And now, it's a self-sustaining population. So they don't have to do anything anymore.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Me too. There are well over 1,000 trumpeter swans in Ontario now. So that's good news on my book. I'm happy about it.
Oh, that's good. That's also very pure. Oh,
yeah.
Hearing animals come back is good.
It is nice, isn't it? And, like, there was no downside to this. They were like, obviously, we're not out of the woods yet, but this is just nothing but good news. So I snatched that one up.
Oh, that's so nice. That fills me with warmth. Things are good.
Things are good. There are good people out there.
Oh, good on him. Good retirement plan. Bring back the swans.
Help the swans.
Hashtag bring back the swans.
He was quoted in the article and he said, "I would do anything for the swans," and then I cried.
Oh.
I know. I love him.
Oh, God, my heart is full of warmth. Maybe it's acid reflux, or it could be joy. All right, my turn.
Yes,
Big
ma'am.
gong noise.
Gong noise.
So my next one, this one was actually pretty crazy. So everybody's seen all the photos of like marathons and running events. I know you might be thinking, how dare you bring running events into our TV show?
Yeah, I'm supposed
show?
to. Yeah,
Radio
we're on
show.
TV now.
Woo!
We're a TV show. Yeah, the fact that you've brought up exercise actually makes me very upset at you.
So I had found this really cool article where a London Marathon, huge marathon. This is in the Independent. Sorry, I'm full of phlegm. If you heard our episode last week, my voice was like an octave lower. I sounded like the Theranos CEO. It was actually just because I was sick. Transitioning.
Back to business.
I found an article where I guess a small company who is working to reduce plastic waste in the world was handing out edible water capsules to reduce the plastic bottle waste in the marathon. So, you know, usually people will pick up the water bottles, drink it, crush it, throw it on the ground.
Wait, really?
Which is an artistic choice.
Is that?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Part of it is I don't know why they don't just do cups, but I guess it's like if you're running for 26 miles, you can't carry plastic with you, but I don't know. I feel like it's not difficult to be a good person and you can just throw it away. But let's put that aside.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yep. And the stat is it takes 450 years for plastic bottles to decompose.
Yeah, it sure does.
So what they did is they made these water bottle like pockets made out of seaweed. Oh. So you can take a bite into the thing, kind of open up the side, kind of like, you know, those like square sacks of milk we had.
Yeah, the bagged milk.
When we were Yes, bagged milk, but think of water instead of the milk. Yeah, so you would take a bite, you'd drink it. You could entirely eat the water bottle, I guess, if you want. But you could also not eat the water bottle. Right. And it will decompose and be recycled naturally within 6 weeks.
Holy shit.
Because it's just seaweed. It's
That's
from
awesome.
the London-based startup Skipping Rocks Lab. And it just made me happy because
that's awesome.
If it's something that people were actively using, that means that it's successful. It could be something to reduce plastic bottles, and it made me happy and is a step forward in not using plastic. So that's good.
I hope that becomes something that's used more widespread, not just like marathon runners, because that's rad as hell.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to get it in the public eye, so they set up shop and handed it out to people as they ran past. But
that makes sense, yeah.
As it is, I think the rules on the water bottles handed out at these events anyway is I think it has to be like 70% recycled plastic or something, which I can appreciate, but I really don't like that it's being thrown on the floor. So having something where they're just less concerned about that it's going to biodegrade, that's nice. That's nice.
I agree. That reminds me of there was this small startup that wanted to make edible cutlery to replace plastic cutlery. So I don't remember what the blend was, but it was all edible ingredients, and you could just, like, when you finished your meal, you could just chomp into it, and they had different flavors, and it was super cool.
Yeah, it was like some kind of, like, chickpea kind of thing. Like, it was like a starchy veggie thing.
Yeah. It was definitely vegetable-based, and it was, like, hard enough to where it wouldn't, like, melt when you ate hot food, but then soft enough to where you could actually chew it and not break your teeth, which I think is kind of a trick, but they did.
Yeah, when I was still in biotech, I was super interested in stuff like that. There was also a fun thing, and I think they're still working on it. It's kind of expensive right now, but they're redefining it and developing it. Yeah. They would take specialized mushrooms, and they would grow them and preserve them in a way where it would form leather that was, like, just as durable and had the same kind of texture as real animal leather. Holy shit. It was biodegradable and made out of mushrooms. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so just, like, little stuff like that makes me happy, and the use of science, and
so glad that gets funded.
Yeah, it's super cool, and it's like they use it for high fashion. It's really interesting. They also have this really interesting breathable fabric that I think is made out of, like, heat sensitive algae. So when you create fabrics with it and you're sweating, it's used for, like, exercise equipment. It actually, like, opens up slits in the side of the exercise equipment so that you can, like, breathe, like, your skin can breathe and stuff.
Oh my God.
So it's like breathing fabric. Super neat.
Science, man.
Science is fucking wild. So
rad. I'm so glad stuff like this gets funded. Gong noise. I have one more. So this I think everybody knows about, but it gets me too hyped to not bring it up. The world's first image of a black hole was captured.
Fuck yes.
Fuck yeah. By Dr. Katie Bauman. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It seems pretty phonetic, but anyway. She led the project. She used 8 linked telescopes in the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration. She and her team created the algorithm that photographed the dust and gas particles that were surrounding a black hole that was over 500 million light years from Earth. Oh, that is the coolest shit I've ever heard. It took 3 years, and it was 3 years well spent, because this picture is everywhere now. It is.
Yeah, I've seen the memes.
Big deal. You've seen the memes?
I've seen the memes.
I'm familiar. I've seen the memes. Yeah, no, it was just the coolest shit out there. And I can't speak to the science because I'm not a science gal. I'm an English gal. But I do know that this is a pretty big deal. Like, this is... black holes, I think, were understood to be unphotographable forever.
Yes.
And this 29-year-old was like, nah, and then did it. That's the raddest shit out there.
I mean, that's when all that information came out where they were like, yep, we photographed a black hole. Everybody's like, how the fuck do you even do that? Because black holes don't make or reflect light of any sort. So that's why they were taking pictures of the particles that are are interacting with the black hole. That's the only possible way they could have gotten, like, any image of it. Mm-hmm. So, sorry.
Yikes.
So it was super cool to see that they finally got a picture of it. And I know a lot of people would make fun of, like, it looks like a fucking donut. Like, yeah but
it's a hole.
Whenever I would see those pictures where they'd be like, oh, this is what Pluto looked like in 1990, and she was just like a little smudge. And then now we have these, like, high-res image, like, of Pluto, and you can see all the craters and valleys, and so
it looks
cool.
Like the Pepsi logo.
Yeah, so I am, like, this is like a step forward in seeing stuff. And I'm not usually a space gal. That's not really my shtick in physics, but I can appreciate that this took a lot of time and a lot of hard work, and I'm very happy for science. Good for them.
Too. A lot of our stuff is science stuff. I love this. Yeah,
science is doing good things.
I'll admit that space is not, like, high on my list of things that I get excited about. Like you said, seeing the images is very cool, but I think this was one of the first times where I saw the picture and it really hit me what a crazy thing that is. Just the distance, first of all, from Earth, and then the fact that it was supposed to be impossible. And this girl and her team got funded, first of all, which is a miracle unto itself. Got funded for a 3-year project and did it. She wrote the code. She and her team wrote the code that made the impossible possible, and that's just so very inspiring for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool to hear Lady Power.
Lady
Very
Power.
proud.
Thank you, Dr. Katie Bauman.
Gong noise.
Gong noise.
I have one more, and then we can talk about our weeks, and I need some positivity, so here's another positive one.
Let's do it.
Is anybody constantly worried about using styrofoam?
I am now.
Okay, so styrofoam is, it's impossible for it to break down.
Yeah.
It breaks down into little mini plastics, which become microplastics, which just get smaller and smaller and then are eaten by fish and animals. And then we eat the plastic because it's in their bodies because they can't biodegrade it.
Now this isn't positive.
Now the positive part is Maine becomes the first state to ban styrofoam food containers effective in 2021. Yeah. So that made me really happy because I think a large majority of I could be totally wrong, but I see polystyrene in food packaging. Every time I go to Chick-fil-A, they give me the styrofoam cup, which...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Stings.
As if we needed more reasons to hate Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. And so the fact that the containers are a significant contributor to environmental plastic pollution, this is on USA Today, I'm citing as I go, the fact that they're cutting them out in an entire state makes me so relieved. Like, I know saying like the straw bans to me are like, all right, like, but the big one is that shit can't be recycled and just creates microplastics that are in our water. And the fact that we are steps closer to making it go away would be great. Hawaii's banned plastic bags.
Yes, I saw
So
that.
is California. Maryland is doing something similar to the styrofoam ban, but they haven't passed it yet. So all little steps forward in reducing our plastic waste, and it feels good, guys.
Sure does. It'll take a while, but we're getting there.
Gong noise.
Gong noise. And I think that concludes our relaxing good news session.
Yeah. And now we can talk about, I guess, our weeks and which boys we have crushes on. I have a softball game tomorrow, so...
You're playing or are you watching?
No, I don't have a softball game. I was just pretending to be that one girl at sleepovers where, like, she wants to go to bed at, like, 9 p.m. and you're like, Amber, let it go.
Your experiences are not universal.
If anybody has had that one bitch when you were in elementary school that had a softball game in the morning and made you go to bed at 9 p.m., tweet me.
Yeah, show me wrong. Show me I'm wrong. No,
we have that poll on Twitter right now about penitentiary, and you are winning right now, Brooke.
I can't believe it.
We have over 100 votes.
Do we really? God.
Yeah, there's a lot of infighting. Apparently people are very passionate on how you pronounce penitentiary. I think the poll is closing soon. By the time we post this, the poll will be over. But
Lord.
Man, people have a lot of feelings about how you should pronounce that word.
Yeah, that word in particular, apparently. It's a
hot topic.
Hot topic.
I guess, do you want to do a high-low high for the week, and then we can wrap it up?
The hell is a high-low high, Olivia?
You've never done a high-low high? It's where you
No
give, like,
idea.
one of the highlights of your week, a low one, but then you end on a high.
Great, sounds good to me. I'm learning all kinds of shit today.
I'm learning about plastic and birds, and
Yeah,
apparently
man.
we can weaponize animals, which
Apparently
I
so.
still cannot get over. I feel
That headline is so
no
insane.
amount of time. So much to say about that. High, low,
Okay.
high. Right. Do you want to go first?
So let me see how does this work? Am I gonna do my high, low, and then you'll do all of them, or are we both doing a high?
Do it all at once. Mush them together.
Sounds good. Okay. So my first thing, my high, I went to a party for the first time in a long time the other day.
Good.
That was a good thing, and I had a really good time. However, this is tied into my low. For the first time in my life, I threw up while I was drunk. This has never happened before. It was deeply uncomfortable. I threw up 4 times. Probably had a mild form of alcohol poisoning, because then I started hyperventilating, and I was very, very cold, and it was not a good night. But the day was great. It was great. And then my high is that I get to record this podcast with Olivia Leland, one of my best friends in the whole wide world.
Yeah, where you're totally also my...
Shut up. I knew you were going to do that.
No, I love Brooke. She is my best friend.
Yay.
Yeah, straight up.
That makes me feel good.
Not to tell you this on the podcast, but I've already promised Hassan that he could be my maid of honor.
Oh, god damn it.
He said...
If we fight to the death and I win, can I
No,
have
then
that
yeah,
spot?
you for sure. It's just mostly for the bit. I said, if you are my maid of honor, you're very tall, so proportionally, the dress that you're going to be wearing is going to be very short compared to my other bridesmaids. And he went, yeah, I'm one sneeze away from full frontal, so
Oh my god.
it's gonna be a memorable wedding, is all I'm saying.
Hassan! I love him. Oh, yeah. In that case, then he can have it. I'll let him have it.
You're like, fuck, I don't even want to be that.
Yeah.
So high, low, high. High. I got a 96% on my quantum midterm.
Hell yeah.
Low. Also having to do with well, actually, my low was that I was very sick this week.
Yeah.
So
Not measles, though.
Not measles, God fucking bless. Last recording you could hear, like, my voice was lower, but immediately following that, when I get sick, I get delirious fevers.
It's bad.
And I had to walk everywhere. I'm at UCLA. So I got lost many times just because I was so delirious. I was like, I'd walk into stores and be like, why am I here?
Oh god, Olivia.
And I had to walk around a little bit and be like, oh, bread. That's why I'm here. Bread.
No.
Very sweaty. Woof. So that was my low. That was like 3 days of suffering. And then my high is I used my tax refund to get my hair done. And I feel so pretty.
You look really good. For anybody who hasn't seen her Instagram or Twitter or something, she's very blonde now.
I'm so blonde.
Very
It's
blonde.
like an icy, like I feel like a Pomeranian. I'm feeling on top of the world. It really though, it was, I needed to get my hair touched up for a while. I haven't gotten a haircut in a year and a half.
Ooh.
And my hair hadn't been like dyed or touched up in like 6 months. So, all things considered, I think I saved a fair amount of money by not touching my hair for several months to several years.
Yeah.
And I got it all touched up, and every time I like spend a lot of money on like my appearance or like I do like a face mask or some shit, I'm immediately reminded of that tweet with the Kardashians where it says you're not ugly, you're just poor. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Have you seen that tweet?
No.
It like shows all the Kardashians like before all their plastic surgery and all of their like procedures and skincare, and then all of them after where they look like gorgeous, like touched by God individuals, and you're like, man, money is something else.
Sure is. Yeah, it's amazing what a couple $1 million will do.
Yeah. What is it? I think the Kardashians get liposuction and then they inject it into their ass.
Is that true?
Yeah, they do. It's a medical procedure. Yeah. So, can't relate at all.
Oh, no, not at all. I will say that I am kind of proud of Kim Kardashian. She's going to be a lawyer.
I know. Good for her.
Cool.
She's making a turnaround. God bless.
Yeah.
So, that'll be fun. Hopefully she doesn't get into law school by pretending to be on like the water polo team or some shit. But too soon? It's my school. I could say whatever the fuck I want.
You can say whatever you want. You got it for real, so it's fine.
So that was our high, low, high. Next episode is going to be Hassan's.
Hassan! This time he's back for a heavy hitter, not just a mini heavy hitter, so it's gonna be...
yeah.
Although, I must say, the Hitler Youth one did really end up just being a heavy hitter.
Yeah, he had a lot of fun bumming us out. I asked him, I said, if yours has anything to do with this, like, here's a resource or something. I'd found something, because I suspected it was one of those. And he goes, no, it's not that. And I'm like, all right. And he looks at me in the eyes and goes, it's much sadder. And I'm like,
Hassan, no!
Why?
Oh, God.
It's gonna be a heavy hitter.
It's a heavy hitter, all right.
So I guess that wraps it up. Social medias?
Oh yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to our social media corner, where I tell you for the billionth time to go follow us and talk to us and stuff, which people have been doing. We got a bunch of really cute tweets this week.
It fills us with joy.
Great. So if you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, we are at TTKMeUp. We also have a website, ttkmeup.com. That'll take you to all of our pertinent links. We have a merch store with TeePublic, and then we also have a Patreon. We still have 3 lovely patrons that I adore to the ends of the earth. What else? We have a Facebook, but who cares?
Yeah. I've been posting solid memes on the Twitter and Instagram. I'm having a great fucking time with these memes.
Yeah, you're having a field day, and they are, can I just say, fire memes.
Oh, hell yeah. We got like 81 likes on our Flat Earth meme.
Did we really?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, people really love making fun of Flat Earthers.
It is so easy to do.
Give a listen to our episode and maybe you'll feel bad for them. Casual plug.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe we are part of the problem by perpetuating such memes, Olivia.
Listen, it was a great meme. I saw my opportunity and I seized it. We also love hearing feedback from you. We've had like 1 or 2 people give suggestions on movies to review, on topics to cover. We hear you, Australia. You are reaching out to us.
Which is so wild.
Which is so wild. We also like apparently have some kind of like niche following in Michigan?
Oh, yes, that was another weird one that I just don't understand, but that's pretty cool.
If you're from Michigan, can you please tell me what the fuck is going on? Like, we see the stats, and it says, like, that we have a couple thousand in California, which, like, makes sense because we're here. Yeah. I don't know a single person in Michigan. I'm not saying I don't love Michigan. I'm saying, can someone please tell me what's going on?
I'm glad you like us, Michigan.
Yeah, we love you. We love you, Michigan. And Maryland. Maryland also has like a random like... So,
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, if you're from Maryland, please tell me what the fuck is going on.
Maybe my dad told all of his ZeniMax people that his daughter makes a lame show, and everybody listened. It's not lame. I love our show.
Yeah, our show is pretty cool. So, we appreciate all your love. We appreciate your contact. I hope that this was just a positive and uplifting episode for you.
And if you hated it, please don't tell us, because it will hurt our feelings.
I love that's what you always say. You say, if you hated this, please don't tell us.
Yeah, we are TTK Me Up. If you hated the show, then we are called things that are bad and we don't like. That's the name.
Yeah, so tweet at that place, not TTK Me Up. I guess that's all we have to say. We love you all so much.
And hey, we're finishing up at the actual mini-sode mark for once.
Oh, fuck yeah! The 45, a tight 45.
God damn.
So on that note,
everybody.
We love you. It's been real.
Sure has.
Deuces. See ya.
From the brilliant creative minds that brought you Keep Drinking, It'll Get Better, and the Real Housewives of Hillcrest Nursing Home, comes the podcast that people are raving about. Hi, this is Edward October for OctoberPodVHS.com, here to tell you what people are saying about our true crime podcast. A thread store in Arizona says, too much dribble and slang. These ladies obviously enjoy their own humor and sound high. Hey, at least they called you ladies. Benny from Idaho says, your topics are so appealing, but a 3-person pod is difficult enough to follow without banter? Our true crime podcast only has 2 people? Wait. Where's the other 100 5-star reviews? Can somebody give me the 5-star reviews? Okay, here we go. Much better. Luscious Lee says, stand up, 5 stars. You girls are funny AF. I especially love the me and Mrs. Jones rendition you sneak into the recording. Cherry G107 says, I struggle finding a new podcast, and so far, I've been hooked to you guys' podcast. Keep up the good work. Thumbs up, smiley face. Our true crime podcast, 2 girls, 1 story, and lots of bad renditions of songs you love. Available on your favorite podcatcher. Go binge it today.